I'm his squad and welcome back, guys. Here's your boy Sean.
And your girl Mel. Welcome, guys.
Welcome back, S&M. So we got Nancy Grace. All right. Nolan Wells autopsy, deep tissue discoloration, back of head, neck bone missing.
Wow.
Hold on, did I read that right?
You read it right correctly.
Should I read it again? Hold on.
That's crazy.
Deep tissue discoloration, back of head, neck bone missing.
How in the heck is the neck bone missing?
The neck bone?
What? Let's get into the video.
All right, guys. So before we get into it, go ahead and smash that like button. Turn on that notification bell so you guys are notified next time we upload a video. We're going to follow this story. Here we go.
Bombshell tonight in the tragic death of a young man, Nolan Wells. In the last hours, we learn the contents of a second independent autopsy on Nolan's body. Good evening. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. I want to thank you for being with us. Nolan was not on board. His body spotted by the United Cajun Navy.
We knew in this case, the time frame that was involved, that we were looking for a recovery at this point. It appears as though it was a drowning. Whatever happened really, really close to where the body was found.
Wow.
Preliminary report, second autopsy, death of Nolan Xavier Wells. Cause of death, undetermined, pending investigation. And we'll explain that as we go through the report this morning. The manner of death, undetermined, pending investigation.
So no drowning?
What happened to Nolan Wells?
What?
I listened and I listened and I listened to our friend Ben Crump as he went through the independent autopsy, and this is what I find to be probative.
Preliminary findings, and this is significant. Focal area of red discoloration in the soft tissue of the back of the head, the occipital region. He said the etiology is unknown at this time. He said the body was received after the initial autopsy. He said the body had marked decomposition.
Decomposition. What does that mean? Probatively, what does that prove? Joining me an all-star panel to make sense of what we are learning tonight, that was an independent autopsy ordered by Nolan Wells's family. We still don't have the official autopsy from the Mississippi Medical Examiner's Office, but straight out to a renowned medical examiner. You know him well. Joining us, Dr. Kendall Crowns. He is the Chief Medical Examiner of Tarrant County, Fort Worth. Literally thousands and thousands and thousands of autopsies under his belt. He is the esteemed lecturer at the Burnett School of Medicine at TCU.
Wow.
I don't have to explain to you what it takes to become not just a medical examiner, but the chief medical examiner
So
in a
he
metropolitan area
stuff.
like Fort Worth. All that aside, COD, MOD, undetermined. But what jumped out at me, among so many things, Dr. Kendall Crowns, what does he mean about the red discoloration in the deep, soft tissues overlaying the occipital bones? What is that? Translate.
So what that is the occipital bone is the bone this is your skull. It's the bone in the back of your head, the directly back side of your head. So when he's describing these hemorrhages in the deep, soft tissues, it means deep in the musculature that holds your head in place, there is a red discoloration. What could this be? It could be settling of the blood from decomposition or from lividity, pooling of the blood. The
Oh,
body has been kind of put on its back and
No,
transported to Washington, D.C. So
hold on,
that could be
hold on.
that. It could also be
Trust
blunt
me,
force
I don't think
injuries.
I know more than you on this, Dr. Kendall Crowns, but you got me drinking out of the fire hydrant. You're giving me so much information. I had to break in right there because you said I'm going to quote, posterior red discoloration in deep soft tissue overlying occipital. Deep soft tissue. To a layperson like me, that means it's deep below the skin, and you just stated that could be from the settling of the blood. In other words, if he were lying on his back when he died, the blood would settle to the back of his head. But isn't it true to you, Brian Trasher, Vice President, United Cajun Navy? The Navy participated in the search, and I got to clear up that whole thing about fully clothed with you. That said, isn't it true? And I'm looking at the picture on my phone that I got from an undisclosed source. I'm looking at Nolan's body on the beach. We are not showing it. He's face down, isn't he?
Yes,
oh my
that's correct. Yeah,
God.
he was when we flew
Okay, I'm going
over.
to come
He was,
back to you about the clothing.
yeah.
What? Repeat?
No, I said when we observed him from the air, yeah, he was face down and he was wearing swim trunks and only swim trunks. I think that the term fully
Right.
clothed just got taken out of context.
Well, when you look at the body from high up, it appears at first like he had on a shirt with swim trunks, but he does not have on a shirt. He only has on swim trunks. That's a whole peripheral issue. But back to Dr. Kendall Crowns. So, Dr. Kendall Crowns, you may have an explanation for this. I've already thought of one, and I'm not a medical examiner, but I don't see how the deep red, I'm talking about, was there a blow to the back of the head? Did he fall off a boat? Did he hit his head on something else? If it turns out he drowned, how did he get in the water? Why was he in the water? Why did everybody leave him? Lots of questions tonight. But if he was found face down, the blood would not have settled to the back of his occipital.
Well, that's correct at the initial autopsy, but he was also transported to Washington, D.C. on his back, I assume, not on his face. And so after death, you can still have pooling of the blood in the dependent areas if the lividity is not fixed. Or even if it is fixed, you can have pooling. So it is difficult to say without seeing the actual reddened area in the deep soft tissue, whether this is just a decompositional artifact or if it's indeed blunt force trauma. Now, they're not describing any injuries to the skin surface, which would
Okay.
still be there if he was, even if he's decomposed, you would still see injuries, abrasions, bruises, lacerations, things of that nature, even with decomposition. So it's difficult to give significance to this deep red area in the musculature of the deep soft tissues of the back of the head without further photographs or more information. To me, could it be blunt force trauma? Yes. Could it be a decompositional artifact? Yes. Could it be something from transport? Yes. Hard to say at this point.
Okay,
Right,
hold
because
on. Let
it's
me
so
just take
long,
each one of those. And the rest of the panel, please, if you've got a question or a point, jump in. We need
The
all of your
initial
brain power.
autopsy.
Oh, that's an open invitation to Mobley to jump in. But
Let's stop it right there for a minute. The neck bone is missing. I mean, something clearly is off. The neck bone is missing.
I feel like we need the information from the initial autopsy to
But
see
then,
what the findings are.
if they still have a part of the body, they still investigating. But why not just send the whole body to Washington, D.C.?
Something is off about that.
Why take out the neck bone?
Something isn't right.
I mean, he's clearly been disrespected enough. I feel like this is the utmost disrespect to the dead, to Nolan Wells. Let's just keep going, guys. Here we go. This
Three things you said: that there could still be pooling of the blood, and I don't want to be too DEFCON 4 into this and get lost in the weeds, but Nolan is dead. He's already been autopsied. Days have passed, and you're telling me that the blood could still sift down from the front of his face to the back of his neck in one specific area. Why wasn't it pulling all the way down his neck? Or why just that
She's
one
good.
area? I don't believe that when you have been deceased that long, you've already undergone autopsy, they've drained the blood from your body, that somehow in the few hours of transport, you're going to get pooling of the blood to one area in the back of your neck.
So first off, it's not a few hours of transport. It's from whenever the autopsy ended. He's placed on his back. Whenever he's picked up at the scene, he's been placed on his back. So all that comes into play. They don't drain all the blood from the body at autopsy. There's still blood in the body after autopsy. And also, decomposition causes the breakdown of tissues, including musculature, which can give a reddish decoloration from the actual decomposition process of the muscle. So all these have to be considered when you're saying a reddened area, because the doctor didn't call it hemorrhage, which is interesting to me. He called it a reddened area. So I don't know what he's describing. I would love to see pictures, but again, there's no description of a bruise or an abrasion or a laceration on the skin surface of the back of the head. So what the significance of this is? Could it be a decompositional change? Could it be something else like blunt force injury? It's hard to say at this point in time.
I find it very difficult to believe, Dr. Kendall Crowns, that not one, but two medical examiners cannot figure out why he had deep red subcutaneous markings. Subcutaneous, what is that? Deep subcutaneous, what is that?
It's underneath the skin, meaning in the fat or the muscle underneath the skin.
Okay.
Oh my Lord.
Straight out to John Mobley joining me out of Charleston. He's a renowned trial attorney, founded John Mobley Law Firm. Okay, Mobley, have at it.
Well, Nancy, I got to call it like I see it. There are a lot of things that I don't like about this presentation. I think the first problem I see is they put out this autopsy and they kind of gave you a lot of sizzle. They gave a big dog and pony show, but they didn't really make it clear on the findings and conclusions and how they could be interpreted.
Right.
And I think that's kind of the problem with this case. They put all this stuff out there, all the legal terms, all this, forensic jargon, and now everybody's whipped up in a frenzy trying to understand what it means, speculating, guessing, and the reality of it is, unless you're an expert, a forensic expert, none of us are qualified to interpret those findings. Now, I've been involved in countless homicide cases where I've had to look at forensic autopsies and discuss the findings with experts. And that's what you have to do. And ultimately what it comes down to is they put this thing out there, this preliminary autopsy finding, and they did not present any real conclusions. And that is a problem. And to address your specific concern, Nancy,
Put him up.
about
Put up
this
Mobley.
might be.
Put up Mobley. Listen, I'm not vouching for the character of Crump or Sharpton. That said, of course, are you saying they were wrong not to put it out there? I think they were right to put it out there, whether it's inconclusive or not.
The manner in which they presented
Okay, what do you mean by that?
He just sat there and read it. And number one, I don't think he was the best person to read it. He's just kind of reading off medical and terms that he didn't do the best job of pronouncing. And they didn't really present a conclusive finding. And what that does is,
well, there is no conclusive finding, Mobley.
Well, he should have said that, because what he does, though, in the manner which it's presented, when you take a case like this, you take little bits and pieces and put them out there in that manner, what you're doing is you're feeding these conspiracy theories like, oh my God, there's some big mystery, some conspiracy about what happened, regarding saying, hey, here's the deal. In situations like this, based on the rate of decomposition, things like that.
Don't you get it, man? We still don't have the answer.
We need an
I don't
answer.
have the answer. He's got a red mark deep in
I thought they were
subcutaneous
gonna say he
tissue
drowned.
on the back of his head. Wait,
Here's a
Go back
problem
to
with
Kendall
that, and I
Krause
want
real
to address
quick.
that. I want to address that.
Wait. Kendall, where's Kendall? Why am I not seeing Kendall? Kendall, please turn around and show everybody what we're talking about because I'm doing this. Show me occipital.
Occipitals right here,
Okay.
back ahead,
How
right where your neck
in the
can tip.
world, out of his whole body, is
On that
that
spot.
where the blood
No.
pools? I'm not buying it.
Thank
And
you,
I'm
Nancy.
not saying this is a homicide. I am saying it. There are a lot of disturbing circumstances surrounding this young man, the star athlete's death, and I am not letting it go.
Thank you,
And I don't
Nancy.
care how much hate mail you send me. I do not care. Okay, Mobley, what else?
Hold up. Why would she get hate mail for speaking the truth?
You will never
You mean to tell me that you would get hate mail?
until this happens to your child, and then you
Wow.
will want someone like her to fight for your child. We should all feel like this could happen to our child. Love thy neighbor. Love your
This
neighbor
is
like you love yourself.
exactly. And what about the humanity? Like, come on.
Ah,
Come on. Here we go, guys. Here
What I
we
want
go.
to state is that, and this is based on my experience being involved in numerous homicides, having examined numerous autopsies and discussed the case and the findings with numerous forensic pathologists. When you have a body, a human individual, okay, that person has experienced trauma in various physical trauma in various aspects of their life. They just had a picture of him being a football wearing a football uniform. He can sustain injuries playing football in practice, horse around with his friends. So, a person can die and have different injuries that pre-existed the date of the death that are completely unrelated to the death, but they are there on the body because they're a live, active
Why is this
individual.
guy
And that's my whole
speaking?
point
No,
about your
I don't want to hear
fixation
from this
on
guy.
and
the
be
injury
the
in the
only
back of the
one
head.
missing.
I'm
I
not
don't wanna
saying
hear
that it
from
was
this
From
guy.
the boat.
He's an
necessarily
idiot.
predated the
He's an
injury,
idiot.
but
And
there's
he
got to be
doesn't
some
need to be
medical
speaking.
evidence to tie it to his death. And there is not because they can't do that. They cannot date that injury.
Okay, guys, you're hearing Mobley. I just lost a satellite. Get that back up for me. In the meantime, let me hear Crump talking about part of the neck structures and specifically the anterior, where that, I'm going to call it bruising. I'll call it a reddened area because we don't know what it was, were absent from the body. What happened to that part of the body? Listen to Crump.
So when they're buried, their remains will all be with them. But in this occasion, if there's going to be a second autopsy, then the organs are put in the body cavity so the second pathologist could be able to examine the organs as well. Very significant for Dr. Mitchell was that the anterior inner neck structures were absent, not received with the body.
From our friends at NAACP. Okay, back to you, Kendall Krause. And hello,
Captain
I've
Matt.
got an all-star panel. Where are they? Did they lose their voices? Dr. Kendall Krause, wouldn't it be important for the second medical examiner, second doctor, to be able to look at the anterior neck structure? They're absent and not received from the body, not received with the
No
body.
way. No freaking way. No way.
That's correct. So it would be important, and that's often the problem with second autopsy is structures are kept by the initial medical examiner for further testing or further evaluation. So the second autopsy is often limited by this. So the problem is the neck structures we're talking about, hyoid bone, thyroid cartilage, laryngeal structures, are the structures that are often involved with strangulation. They can be taken by a medical examiner, dissected, evaluated for fractures or injuries or something of that nature, but then they're kept And they are also then further evaluated by a forensic anthropologist who will look for microfractures and things like that to see if there's any trauma whatsoever. And that's probably what's occurring in this case is they're doing their due diligence and looking at all those neck structures to rule out the possibility of a strangulation. And they haven't done it yet. And that's why they're still pending. And that's why the second examination can't give you more facts because they don't have those structures to look at. Hopefully, they will be sharing between the two medical examiners so they can both come to the same conclusion at some point. But right now, those structures are being evaluated by someone else and not available for the second autopsy.
I want to talk to you about what you just said.
That makes no sense.
If I see deep reddening of the tissue in the back of the neck, I'm going to quit calling it the occipital, the back of the neck, at the lower part of the head. I want to know what happened up here. I want to know, was the hyoid bone, which is very fragile, it's not attached to anything, it's kind of floating there. And often in ligature manual, any type of strangulation or stopping your airflow, you'll see that very delicate bone fractured. It's gone. Where is it? Everybody's got one, so where is it? Also, Crump stated that the portion of the neck, the interior portion of the neck that would correspond with the hemorrhaging in the back is missing. There are two ways to look at this. One is that it's missing because it's been hidden. It's being withheld from the second doctor. Why? The other way to look at it is what you suggested, Kendall Crowns, and that is that I've seen this done. The way that medical examiners and medical related forensic anthropologists do it, they get a tiny cut of that tissue. They put that under a microscope and they look to see if cells have bruising. It's very painstaking. Could they be doing that? I don't know. But it seems to me they would have included that in their notations that these portions of Nolan's body had been withheld for further testing, but we didn't hear anything about that. Straight out to Sam Crouppen joining us, investigative journalist and star of Samson's World. Sam, did you hear anything about water in the lungs?
No, Nancy, I've heard nothing about water in the lungs. And honestly, I've just been sitting here infuriated that everybody is putting so much pressure on this second autopsy that thankfully Colin Kaepernick paid for. But why are we not putting pressure on Sheriff John Ledbetter? Where is the first autopsy? Why have they held it out? There is a video of two nurses who claim to have seen the transport of this body, and they said he was face down. So it's honestly, for me, it's just disgusting to see the lack of understanding, people commenting on how Ben Crump is reading, people saying Ben Crump is a race hustler. Like, he's the person who's responsible for justice for Ahmaud Arbery, who was killed by three racist people, and it was covered up. Stacey Turner, the medical examiner, is well known for the death of Trey Reed, ruling it a homicide. She is known for ruling black deaths. She is known. Stacey Turner.
Do I look like a witch stirring a cauldron tonight? I don't really see myself that way. Do not stir the pot, Crouppen, because this is not about politics. This is not what somebody did a long time ago in another case. This is about what we are learning tonight. Yes, and my question is, where's the original autopsy? My guess is that they are waiting on the results that Dr. Kendall Crowns just talked about and more. Hey, simmer down. I want to get to the facts. The facts of this case. I want to go back to Brian Trasher on that.
There it is, guys. We're going to stop it right there. I heard enough. And everything is really coming out. Everything is coming out.
It's just so heartbreaking.
Now, from what I see is, this is just my opinion. They took his life. They took his phone. They took his keys, and then they took his damn neck bone. That's 4 damn flags. And no one is arrested. No mugshots. No interrogations. Everybody's just dragging their damn feet. The funeral is over. 2 autopsies.
And no answer.
And we still have no answers. What the hell did y'all go to school for to even have this job? Why do it take that whole month for you to figure out what happened to this young man? This is terrible.
The sad part about it is he was out there with so many people.
No one seen
and no
nothing.
one saw anything.
Hell no. Who's going to buy that? No one is buying it. No one is buying this. And then Mississippi had a history of bad things. Okay? All right, so we already know that history.
This is
all right?
horrible.
This is not fair to Nolan Wells. This is not fair to the family. And this is not fair to the people that is, out here that want concerns, that want answers. It's not fair. The hell do you need the neck bone for? If you said that, the first autopsy, they said that it wasn't a drowning, it wasn't foul play. All right, so send it off and let someone else determine what happened. But they didn't know Kaepernick was going to pay to have the body transferred to Washington, D.C. So this is when they got to start rethinking again and going back to the drawing board. I mean, people can put this together just like that. You don't have to have a law degree to figure this out. In the back of his neck and his part of his neck bone, y'all gonna keep that.
The deep tissues, and that's the only place that the blood would travel.
This right here frustrates me so much to the core. And people don't want to throw race in it.
It's not about race.
It's not about race.
Something happened out there amongst friends.
But
either they left their friend and he drowned, but whatever the answer is, something happened with those friends. Because you're going to know what happened to your friend. Something happened.
We can't just sweep this under the rug like it's going to go away. It's not going to go away.
Wouldn't the second autopsy know if he drowned?
They said there was no water in the lungs.
Wow.
So that means something happened to him on land when he stopped breathing and then placed him in the water. So now there's no water in the lungs. You're not breathing. So, somebody got to make this make sense to me, because this don't make no damn sense. This makes no sense at all. At all. Nancy know it.
I just want people to stop with the race thing. If this boy was white, I would have the same tears.
It's the same thing.
I would feel the same exact way.
We want answers. Everybody wants answers. And it's clear to me that something is wrong. We got about 4 or 5 red flags. Just red flag, 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 flag. Foul play, flagrant foul, personal foul, regular foul, technical foul. We got all these fouls. It's something wrong. But hey, at the end of the day, we're going to file the case until we find out what happened.
I just want to know, did the boy drown? I want to see the first autopsy. If he drowned, then we could all have peace and move forward.
Yeah, but the 2 nurses said that he was face down. Like, it was just thrown in. Like, hey, y'all go ahead and deal with it now. But we're going to keep the neck bone. All right, so y'all ain't gonna be able to see that until we make our decision. Why you gonna hold the neck bone? Let this chief examiner do what he got to do, so he can figure out what he want to write on paper.
How does another examiner have the second one have an answer before the first one?
It's foul, baby. Foul.
Something ain't right.
Something ain't right. Everybody know it. It's like a feeling you feel in your gut. All right, that gut feeling, and within your heart and soul something ain't right. You know what I'm saying? It's like someone's going to crack under pressure. That's the thing. That's what I feel. Someone's going to crack. They're going to tell exactly what happened, and then we're going to be seeing some mugshots, and I'll feel happy. I'll feel so much better because it's justice. For anybody else, don't matter if you're black, white, Asian, does not matter. Justice for that person. Mm-hmm. We gotta fight for justice.
For all.
For all.
With liberty and justice for all.
And it's not one-sided. Why should it be one-sided?
For all.
For all. But hey, there it is, guys. All right. Y'all go ahead and smash that like button, all right?
When we pledge allegiance to the flag
of
the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
For all.
For all.
And I don't think that no one is above the law, so why should Mississippi is above the law right now? I feel like they're above the law. Like they doing whatever they want to do. And ain't nobody going to do nothing. That's how I feel. Like, hold on. Y'all done moved this boat around down 10 times. The GPS tracking the boat. 3 in the morning? What are you doing 3 in the morning? What can you possibly be doing 3 in the morning? Had the boy phone and keys and didn't turn them in? The dad had to come down with the police. It's crazy. So we gotta track the phone? Y'all supposed to be so-called friends, but y'all don't turn it in. Okay, I get it. Cover up. All right? That's it for us, guys. Y'all go ahead and smash that like button, turn on that notification bell so you guys notified next time we upload, and we will upload again on this story. Don't miss out, guys. All right? Peace, love, and blessings. Everyone, please be safe out there. Peace.